too. Knows about the grind. Yeah, bubble grind.
Now we have a guy that could probably get in there if you...
It's game day. The Edmonton Oilers hit the road once again. Welcome to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Joaquin, Gage, Hernan, Salas, Zach Kubich with you. It's Oilers game day as they're in New Jersey to take on the Devils. We'll get to all of that. Of course, no morning skates, so we won't know lines until they hit the ice for warm-up or when Chris Knobloch talks at about 4:10 Edmonton time, Joaquin. We're live from the William Huff Studios. Like always, hit us up on the Nasty Chat. Text us on the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. And can you pass me your sheet real quick? Coming up on the show today. Oh, boy. If you're listening, iHeart, TuneIn radio apps, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Hit us up. Slide on over. Give us a thumbs up. 100. We've hit 100 every day this week so far. It is ugly outside. It's gross. Hernan jumped the gun when he said winter was over.
Oh, God.
It's going to be bad today, boy. Look outside, man.
I haven't looked.
Oh, it's
Is it coming down hard?
It's depressing.
Well, I don't know why you did that, but
show today. The good old Red Light District at 1:40, and Mike Morreale from NHL.com. He's in New Jersey. He covers the Devils. He'll join us at 2:20 to break everything down for tonight's game. Of course, they're without Jack Hughes and Dougie Hamilton. Two big omissions for the Devils. I have a good feeling about this one. But first, Joaquin, how you doing, man?
I'm fine. I'm okay.
How was two guys?
It was okay. It was good. I think we got everything sorted.
It's different when the big man's not here.
The world's problems are still. We didn't get everything done, but we're close.
Speaking of the big man, he dodged me today in Tecmo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he set up a game yesterday. He set it up, and then
His
he's
kids
not
are
here.
sick. Or no, is they're home?
Then don't set up a game, bro.
Jeez, wow.
So now he wants to play me tomorrow, and I don't know if I'll have time. I'll have to be setting up my F1 lineups. I'm spending way too much time on those, man.
You've been doing that all day.
Every combination I end up with, I always end up with Oli Behrman and Esteban Ocon.
Yeah.
I can't find any other combination.
Really?
Yeah. I like Oli Behrman.
Yeah, it's a good
Ocon
one.
I don't like. He's a bit of a, but he's not a bad driver.
He's a really good driver.
Yeah, and I'm high on Haas, so I don't know.
You got double Haas. The one thing you have to worry about is when you do have two drivers on the same team, there are extra points for the driver that finishes ahead of his partner.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So you're giving. I guess you're hedging your bets.
Well, so if Oli Behrman finishes ahead of Ocon,
He gets an extra 2 points.
That's only if you have two teammates.
No, doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
So you're by having Ocon on there, it's automatically one of those drivers is getting -2.
So you're recommending I don't have teammates?
It depends if you think they're going to finish high up. Then it makes sense, right? This is where the strategy comes in. That's driving you crazy. You should see this guy. I've never seen sometimes I look at the fantasy lineup way too long and try to mix and match. But I feel really bad for you once it starts and you can't make as many substitutions. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe not having the ability to change your lineup so much will help you.
Well, you know what's going to happen here? I'm going to struggle off the hop, and then I'm going to get this. I'm not going to be interested. That's just the way I am. I'm a sore loser.
But you can't win. We're not just having one race here.
No, I know.
There's 24. And it can switch.
I just want McLaren and Ferrari and constructors, and I want one of the McLaren drivers, and the system won't let me.
Last year, Cass had a 400 point lead, and I reeled him in like a salmon.
So I noticed Cass last year, he had Red Bull and Ferrari as his constructor. So when I'm trying to remember, and then he had one of the upper drivers. He didn't have Verstappen because he couldn't afford him, but he had.
But he could later on. Yeah,
but he had one of the McLarens or the Ferrari guys, and then he had all low drivers. but he was in first place because of the constructor.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah, it should be.
That's why I don't like doing fantasy sports anymore.
It should be hard. It's a lot of fun. It's fun mixing and matching.
Man, the nasty chat is slow. We only have 2 messages. What's going on? Where are you, nasties? Are you there? Hello?
It might be the F1 talk.
We'll get to Oilers, I promise. We'll get used to it because we're going all in on F1 and Indy on this show. So, and I want Tim Rainey to be a regular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? Trust me. Did you see the new trailer for the F1 movie?
With Brad Pitt? Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
Should all go watch that too.
Yeah, we should. That'll be fun.
Oh, maybe Dusty can pay for it.
Yeah, but what is it? Going to like $50 to go to a movie now? Something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive. You can rent out the theater.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
The one in Windermere I like because you can. It doesn't matter. You don't need the VIP to drink beers. You can just buy them and go in there. It's fully licensed.
So at the Estes, I was drinking boxed wine there at the.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, that was tough.
You hit me about 1,800 times.
Bronco Nick says I'm here. So
Okay.
any news on when Frederick is coming back? No news. Probably still 2 weeks. I think they said towards the end of the month. So our Jess Jackson from 100.3 The Bear says hi. Hi, guys. F1, wish I made the cut for the league. Been watching since 1996. Caster 1990. It's definitely the F1 talk.
Well, what do you want to hear about? Do you want to hear about Lewis Hamilton donning Ferrari red or Jeff Skinner playing with Leon Draisaitl? Come on.
Allegedly. We don't know yet. You might get Hernan. Looks like Trev and Hernan's friendship is over. We didn't even talk to each other today.
Oh yeah, he's
Once-
not a nice guy. Amazing
once-
what you find out about a person after a while.
When you lose one friend, it opens up a spot for a new one.
That's right.
Yeah. So it's sad. Sad to lose friends, but it happens in life.
That's okay.
How you feeling tonight about the game? I'm feeling really optimistic.
Really?
I'm calling a 6-1 win for the Oilers.
How do you figure?
Because this team is so Jekyll and Hyde, I think they're going to go full good Edmonton Oiler team and just run them out of the arena. Who's with me? 6-1 Oilers? Say it with me. Who's with me?
Not me.
What do you?
I just don't. You actually think, when have they beat a team 6-1 all year? Have they?
Let me look.
I don't think they have.
Yeah, remember they beat Minnesota in Minnesota like 7-2.
Okay, and what was the Pittsburgh game? That was up there too, wasn't it?
That was a good old-fashioned butt kicking. 6-2 against the Canucks.
6-2, not 6-1.
4-0 against Boston. I'll keep scrolling here. Man, they've played a lot of games. 7-3 against the Canucks.
I'm just saying that this team is too. I have trouble thinking that they can string together a good 60 minutes all together, all 20 guys stringing together a full game, hard-nosed game.
It's gonna happen tonight.
And I'm not saying they can't do it. There's just, I don't see the willingness to do it.
But that's when I say this team's so up and down, because for 40 minutes against Dallas, they were willing to do it. They were. Yeah. So that's what I think is going to happen tonight. The Oilers know that we've been talking smack about them. Every show in the city in Edmonton has been like, you guys stink. How can we fix them? And they're like, that damn Hernan and Joaquin, we're going to show them tonight.
They do like when they're talked about in an unflattering light. They do seem to bring their best at that point. But no,
like they'll play excellent tonight, and tomorrow will be an absolute dud.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, just consistency, and I don't expect them to be, just crazy. But I think Oilers fans would love to just see some progression of the team going in the right way. This one step forward, 2 steps back, 1 step forward, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Like, it's too
much, man. Not for a team where they are.
I'm not even talking about wins and losses in this case, right? I'm talking about just wow, that they gave a good effort, but the other team did something that was they managed to beat the Oilers. Like, quit beating yourself. Quit allowing other teams to stick around and not having to do something. Have them generate their own chances with good plays. Like, have them have to do something to get past you. Just like when, as a goalie, right? You're basically like, you want to stop every single puck, but the mindset half the time is this guy is going to have to do something spectacular to get the puck past me, right?
Yeah,
or be lucky.
The Oilers need to make the other team actually work for their goals.
Yes,
and then we can all sit here and say, "Okay, that was a phenomenal goal. They moved that puck around."
We'll still blame Skinner, but come on.
Yeah. Skinner will still be a terrible goaltender. But no, but that's the thing, because lately, and almost every Oiler loss, we're talking about them giving the other team just gifts, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, so it's gotta start somewhere, and then maybe tonight's the turnaround. I'm very optimistic. I just think this team, every time they're down and they're in the dumps and they lose to the last place team in the East, they're going to show up. This is not going to be a blowout for New Jersey. Now, New Jersey's missing two enormous players.
Yeah.
Their best player in Jack Hughes out for the season, and so is Dougie Hamilton. They're still good. I mean, Nico Heischer's having a great year. Jesper Bratt is having a good year. Timo Meyer's a good player. They're good, Gage, but this team is there for the taking.
It should be. There's no easy games in the NHL, but when you're missing two very influential players, and I mean Hughes is dynamic. Hamilton's a stud on defense with some offensive upside. I think didn't he score here when the Devils were here at the beginning of the year?
They beat the Oilers. Was it 3-0?
Yeah, something. They kind of they handed it to him.
I mean, we lost our minds that night. 3-0 on November 4th.
Yeah, and I believe it's that Simon Nemec is up.
He's a good player, man.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have definitely an eye on him.
And they have Brian Dumoulin, who they picked up. Cody Glass, who they picked up. So we'll see.
Luke Hughes is, see one of the Hughes brothers.
Underrated.
Yeah,
for sure.
They got a good team, man.
Do we know if Skinner's a starter?
It's unconfirmed right now.
Okay.
I keep checking. Starting goalies, I believe it is for sure. It says likely that Jake Allen's going to start tonight.
Okay.
And then it's unconfirmed for Stuart Skinner, which usually means he's starting.
Even better. You got the backup in New Jersey. It's going to be 6-1.
Oh, I think Oilers fans wanted him after a while there. Jake Allen too, didn't they?
I'm going to go 6-1. Don't laugh. With a Jeff Skinner goal.
With a
wow.
Jesus.
It's a good pick. And Gager, I want to add to your point. Sure, yeah, Oilers fans wanted Jake Allen at one point, but they want every goalie.
Yeah, they do. That's true. Good job, Coop.
I don't mind Jake Allen.
But hold on a sec. Let me just look this up. Jake Allen makes, I'm just trying to see his salary here. It's just under $2 million. So,
okay.
I mean, Markstrom at 4, that's 6.9% of the cap. That's right in the wheelhouse. I think to be a competitive team, anything over 8 is where the cap is right now. You're not going to be able to be successful, I think, unless you just have one of those stud goalies.
No, that's fair. I just think, I think someone asked Dusty. I think Huss asked Dusty on the log show, well, what are you expecting tonight? He goes, I can't get a read on this team.
No, I think you're going to have some good plays and some good moments tonight, but you're going to have the head scratchers where the puck mismanagement when it gets to those certain situations, an improper decision will be made by an Edmonton Oilers player that will result in a very good scoring chance for the other team, right? And
will the goalie be there to make the save?
Will the goalie be there?
So they won last year in New Jersey, 6-3, Joaquin. So
when was that?
That was December 21st.
So that was kind of when they started putting everything together.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. Maybe this is.
So that's why I'm confident, because they won there last year. They're probably feeling the heat from that loss to the Buffalo Sabres. They had a day off in between.
Got to hit some sights in New York. Relax.
Sounds like the janitor's out.
He's sick.
Yeah. He might play, though. And I know DMB kind of alluded to maybe Paul Colson's out. So.
Oh, really?
Does it matter to you who gets to start in net?
Yes.
You want Skinner tonight?
Yes. I want Skinner as much as possible. I told you. I think he should play him back-to-back here.
No, come on. There's no need to.
Yeah, there is.
No.
Yeah.
This isn't like the Vancouver situation with Lankin, because Lankin went back-to-back and won yesterday. That was a hell of a game. Overtime was fun.
I know.
It was all Vancouver, though. Man, that Dustin Wolf. Calgary's got a good one, man.
I know.
He made some saves in OT.
Yeah.
Got picked apart in the shootout, but it's okay. It's a shootout, right?
The old skill competition. Yeah, he's a good goalie, man. He's. I was worried about Dustin Wolf beginning because I didn't think Calgary was. I thought they were okay, but I just thought a young guy might get chewed up a little bit. Man, they're cheap goalies too. Not for long, but Wolf's got another year of his entry level.
Sign him now. You'll get him cheap. D-Rock says Calvin Pickard has a 4-1 record in 6 games with a goals against average of 1.79 and a save percentage of .927 against the Devils in his career. Do you read into that? I think you have to.
You do, because we've talked about it before. There's just certain teams, certain arenas that you just feel comfortable in, you have success in, and usually something good happens. And I think that goes into the decision-making of the coaching staff. Probably the part of Dustin Schwartz when he puts together, his reports going into games, what this guy did before here, lets the coach know. So that's probably mostly part of his job to just present it to Nabla. But again, it's getting late in the season and you want to see something more from your number one guy. And I think you go with Stuart Skinner tonight.
Okay. What say you, Nasties? Pickard or Skinner? Or does it even matter? I mean, just win the damn game at this point.
Oh, it matters.
Oh, I know it matters. Teams are creeping up on the Oilers, Gage. There's one point where they're running away with it. It's going to be Vegas and Edmonton. That's it. And now it's Calgary's creeping up. Vancouver's creeping up. LA's right there.
Because they won 2 nights ago, correct?
Yeah. And then, Calgary picked up a point. Vancouver picked up 2.
Yikes.
It's getting dangerous.
So, that's, I guess, 7 points.
Yeah,
Calgary.
it's still pretty good.
It's still pretty good. That's a lot of ground to make up, and all these other teams have to lose too.
That's a great battle, though. Eh? Calgary, Vancouver, 71. St. Louis, Utah, 69. Oh!
I like it.
I like it all.
I think it's. I mean, I'd rather have Vancouver and Calgary in the playoffs. I think it's great to have all Canadian teams make it.
Toronto will be there. Ottawa likely will be there.
Yeah,
Winnipeg. So the only team that would be out would be Montreal.
Yeah. And they're close too. They're 1 point behind Columbus right now.
Well, it's either going to be Calgary or Vancouver, the way it's going. Or they could both be out.
Minnesota 6-7 points. Yeah. That's the
way it's going to be.
Yeah.
Unless the LA Kings, Golden Knights, or the Oilers have an enormous drop off here. Like an enormous drop off.
Yeah, I don't see the Knights dropping off.
I want to get to a conversation you guys are having on 2 guys. It's really interesting to me, very interesting to me. But first, the afternoon inbox is presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the Kitchen Restaurant. All you can eat surf and turf for just $59.99 every Friday from 4 to 10 p.m. Keep slamming that thumbs up. We're starting good. We're at 35 already. Only 65 more to get to 100. Like I said, Red Lake District coming up at 140. Mike Morreale from NHL.com joining us as well. He'll give us all the details on the New Jersey Devils that are without 2 key players in Jack Hughes and Dougie Hamilton. More Oilers talk on the way. You got any questions, send them to the Nasty Chat or the River Korean Box, 780-218 $99.99. We're back here on EST Afternoons after the break, but first up, a sports update with our guy, Coop.
The Oilers dance with the Devils in New Jersey. Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas have the details on the matchup when they go live for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 4:30, only on EST. For the Devils, veteran Dougie Hamilton is out for the rest of the season after he suffered a lower body injury against the Stars last week. Elsewhere, Connor Zary of the Flames is set to have a hearing with the NHL's Department of Player Safety for hitting Vancouver's Elias Pettersson up high and pinning him to the ice last night. 8 other games are on the league. Florida goes at it with Toronto. LA and Washington clash, while the Blue Jackets challenge the Golden Knights. On the court, there's 5 games. The Lakers and Bucks showdown. Sacramento meets Golden State, and the Magic tip-off against the Pelicans. Spring training has the Jays up 5-3 on the Orioles at the bottom of the 8th. Toronto's Max Scherzer was scheduled to take the mound in today's game, but had to undergo an MRI on his thumb that showed nothing serious. He'll pitch tomorrow against the Astros. This sports update is brought to you by the Capital Care Foundation. Financial support deeply affects residents at Capital Care, and whether it's a one-time donation or a monthly contribution, every penny counts. Find out how you can donate at capitalcarefoundation.net. More with Hernan and Joaquin on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish for your sports update.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Take your career to the next level with Nate's Construction Leadership and Supervision Program, a perfect tool for professionals looking to advance their role or an organization needing to develop leaders. Learn more about safety supervision, scheduling, cost control, and most importantly, how to lead a team. For more information and to register, visit nate.ca/CLSP to take your career to another level.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
Believe in me, the dreams that I foresee.
124. Welcome back to EST Afternoon. Brody, Jay Milnes.
I think that might be North Shore, actually.
Oh, is it North Shore?
Yeah. He had 2 bands.
Jay Milnes has a voice of an angel. You like the song?
Yeah.
No, you're not interested, eh?
I like
Yeah,
it.
okay. I love it. I love it. Welcome back to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. We're live from the William Huff Studios here in the west side of the city. Man, this weather is terrible. Please be safe out there. Drive slow. Turn your lights on. We'll get through it together. And then once this is done, then winter's over. Hey, it's Reid Wilkins' 25th anniversary from getting into the broadcasting business today, eh? That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a long time.
So,
One of the best.
Oh, one of the best. Yes, definitely one.
Did
of the
you
best.
I just remember because back at the old place with Reid, I driving my daughter to her things around that time, right? So I was like, oh gosh, I got it. But I was always made it a little bit easier because I knew Reid was coming on.
Yeah.
And then he would invite me on his show usually when 5 people canceled, and then I was his fallback at the last minute. But
when I was with the Elks, I'd always tune in. Like if I was driving around in the evenings, Reid Wilkins, Reid Wilkins, right? So it was good. It was fun. The other thing we forgot to get to, so March 11th was the anniversary of when the NBA game got shut down right before tip-off due to a couple players on the Jazz, I think, testing positive for COVID. Tommy and I were working that night. The Oilers were playing Winnipeg. They lost. Maddie met up with us. We did a post-game show mostly on the COVID situation.
Yeah.
And then we went for beers. And we said, yeah, it's going to be 2-3 weeks. We'll be back at it. It was 2 months until I saw those. Well, no, because I saw them at the station because we were still allowed to go in. Producers were. But we didn't hang out for beers for like 3 months after.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And then yesterday was the anniversary of when pretty much the world shut down. The NHL shut her down. All the sports league followed suit. It was what a time, Gager.
Yeah, I was still working at Canada Life at the time, and my office was downtown, and I remember getting into the elevator with a guy. It's funny. I got mad at this guy years earlier at a lacrosse game because he was yelling at kids, but he was in the elevator and he was talking about this is a joke. Like this is ridiculous. It's the flu and stuff. And then the next day everything was closed.
Whoa.
Like it was so eerie because I think I even went downtown and the whole building was shut down. And I went to that Winnipeg game.
Yeah.
And I even felt like, because there was rumblings that there was a flu bug, right?
Because the media already started being distanced from the players.
Yeah.
Right? They were putting up a table and you had to be far back.
Exactly.
It was the protocols were already starting, but even with those, we still weren't taking it seriously.
There was 18,000 people in a petri dish at Rogers. Like, how many people came out with COVID at that point? Well, like, because even I didn't feel right. I just felt and then all these. And I think that was one of a mass spreader for sure, that Winnipeg Jets game.
It was, because I lived downtown. I remember the week after. So at TSN 1260, all the hosts worked from home outside of Dusty.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the producers had to come in because you had to put the show on the air. So we were still around each other, which was nice. But like, I remember being at home like during the weekend, looking out the window. It's just dead.
I know.
Dead. Like no cars, nobody outside. I was like, man, this is so weird.
It felt like, you watch those old zombie movies or just normal zombie shows and no one downtown. Like I remember the first time I went down and usually the parking lots were full. Like it was hard to find parking. Yeah. You had the pick of the litter.
You could drive to work. There's no traffic.
Yeah. It was crazy.
You didn't have to socialize. You just be at home with your significant other. Like I didn't mind it, to be honest.
I found it kind of interesting.
And a lot of TV, and all you were doing was cooking good food and drinking.
Yeah. Everyone's recycling bin was just full of booze. Like,
so I remember one time it was like 2 weeks into it, and me and the girlfriend like drinking wine and beer. But then we're like, let's switch it up. Like, we're getting sick of this. We're at home all day. And I'm like, let's have vodka cranberry. Oh my God. The worst idea we had. We both got pretty sick. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, the bread craze. Everyone was making bread. Like we were drinking, eating bread. I mean, everyone put on about 30 pounds. Like you were unrecognizable coming out of your house. And then I remember when kind of the virtual thing started where what was Zoom and whatever.
Yeah.
I was kind of using the Microsoft version. I forget, the name's escaping me right now, but Microsoft Teams. But I was having get-togethers with family over Zoom and I was casting them onto the big TV and watching and we were drinking with other people in our homes without them. Yeah, that was a mistake too, because somehow I drank way more and way faster. And I was, what happened to me?
Yeah.
And so it was, not a good good time for the liver. That's for sure.
No, it was, yeah, man. You were drinking a lot. And we'd get together with buddies, play poker online, and then we'd set up a chat. So we're all watching each other and just chatting and you said drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, remember when everybody get together in a parking lot, take out their lawn chairs?
I never
sit in a
did
circle?
that.
I didn't do that either.
No.
But
I
cool,
saw
though.
people do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was totally on board for that. But
I had
just-
to be careful too, because once the rules kind of relaxed, and we would go over to my in-laws' place, but we would be outside in a because they're older and you don't want to get people sick, and you never know, right? So
yeah, it was what a time though. And the whole world shuts down, and then the NHL returned to play in what, August, late August was it, or June, July?
yeah,
And the Oilers lasted 6 days. We were so excited to have them
they
back.
were rolling. Yeah, they were just rolling up to it.
And then they lose to the Chicago Blackhawks, and that was a tough one. And then we had to wait a whole another 5 months for the return to play the Canadian division,
Yeah.
which was kind of cool.
I was probably on two guys, because we were still rolling with two guys. I was the only one that was excited for it, and my reasoning was, well, there's these guys. There's going to be so much focus on the game. There's no outside distractions, so you're just going to see some of the best hockey you've ever seen.
Yeah.
I thought, and then that was when actually I got the call to join Gene on the panel for shows, and going to the rink, and basically us, the staff, some people in Raw, everything was shut down, and it's freezing cold in there, and they piped in the sound. So they would, some guy with the buttons hitting the boo button and the yay button and stuff, and it was so weird. And the hockey did something. I was completely wrong on that. Fans do add to the game. I thought that, this is going to be unique and you may look a little bit different, but no, you can't replace fans' reactions to how things happen during the game.
No, it's completely different. But it was just so what a time, man. Scott says, I actually lost weight during the pandemic. It was good practice for retirement. Mitchie says the toilet paper hoarding was crazy.
Oh, that's what going to when you'd go to Costco, and I saw a guy, he purchased all the infrared thermometers. Yeah. And everyone was yelling at him. And
the worst part for me, the first month of COVID, I had to get a tooth.
Oh.
And I was really scared of COVID, and I had to go to a dentist. And I felt so uncomfortable because they're in and they were dressed in the movie Outbreak.
Oh, yeah.
You could only see their eyes, and I was like, "Holy cow, this is serious," And that was tough for me. Big Uke says, "I talked to some people more during COVID than ever since."
Yeah. No.
Imagine Jasmine, no martinis, can't go out every day. It's terrible.
That would have really been hard on her.
Oh, I always remembered March 11th because that was the day it really hit, and we didn't really know what to expect. And,
did you ever sometimes I snuck out too, right, and stayed at friends' places, and it was you were doing something illegal.
Yeah. But it brought us a lot of great shows. I remember that's when Drive to Survive started. Everybody got into it. Cobra Kai.
Well, the granddaddy of them all has to be Tiger King.
Oh, that's when I had my toothache.
Oh, was it?
I couldn't sleep one night, so I watched it all through the morning. And
even my wife said this the other day, just 2 days ago. She said COVID, because she watches TV, but COVID taught us how to binge series.
Oh yeah,
because we couldn't believe that Tiger King, and it was just, let's watch this. This was just a train wreck. What a great show.
It was perfect for what we needed during COVID.
Yeah. And everyone, do you watch Tiger King? Do you watch Tiger King? Oh, yeah. Well.
And then Michael Jordan, the greatest player ever to play in the NBA.
He slow dripped that on Sunday nights.
That was great. And then they replayed all the Toronto Raptors run to the championship. Yeah. Oh, it was fantastic. What a time, man.
Yeah.
What a time. Dustin calling Nintendo hockey play-by-play, says Kelvin.
Oh, yeah. The United Cup. That was hilarious because he was doing it, and I was watching, And I was actually coming in on the show the next day as the analyst, and we were analyzing video games.
Yeah,
it was just Gaetan Haas.
I was tuning in. People were like, "What are you watching?" I was like, "I don't know why I'm doing."
I don't know how Dusty did that because it's quick, right? If you go back, and he had,
but he had a sponsor. And,
it
was
the anthem
legit.
singer. Came in and he sang the anthem. He had Marshall come in and do some pre and post. Like, it was what a time.
Matt
God,
Hyman
that was
says,
funny.
"I'm proud to say I never watched a single episode of Tiger King." Well, Matt, you're missing out, brother.
Well, don't start. Big Uke, Gaetan Haas will be a COVID hero forever. Yeah, he scored in overtime for the Oilers won the cup against the Carolina Hurricanes.
Video game Gaetan Haas is a hero here in Edmonton.
Oh my gosh, his jersey's
Didn't in real
retired.
life he had that one shootout, or I guess it was a breakaway right towards the end of the game, and he wound up for the slap shot just missing it, or it went in the net or something last second, but it never counted.
Yeah,
Is that just me?
Something like that.
Was it?
Yeah.
He had a
can't remember.
sick breakaway, like he wound it up like Draisaitl would, but right at the dying seconds of the game.
I liked
Didn't
Gaetan
count.
Haas.
Zedmo's, yay, celebrate government overreach. Yay, great time. Oh, Zedmo, you know what we're saying.
Jesus.
Jeez, be a little more positive, bro. Chill out. We're talking about being in your home and watching shows and having drinks and good
Yeah.
food. That's all we're
Yeah.
talking about, man.
It was a fun time for having kids too, because they were home the whole time, and yeah, you hung out. You hung out. It was great.
Spency 5 Centsy, the best line from Tiger King was, "I'm never going to financially recover."
I know. What the worst was the girl, like she had one arm, and then she's only got one arm. Then you realize it got bit off by a tiger. They actually show the tiger ripping her arm off. I shouldn't be laughing. And then that guy comes in and plays with
What
the
did you think was going to happen?
Oh my gosh. And what was he doing? He was going to Walmart because the expiry dates on the food, and was just going to the back.
Yeah, he'd get it for free.
Yeah, he'd just
he'd
go
save
into
money.
the dumpster and grab all this meat and then just throw it to the tigers.
D-Rock says, the homeschooling was a nightmare.
Oh gosh.
But your kids were a little bit older.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. So I think for like elementary, it was probably really tough
Really
to keep
tough,
them
yeah.
focused.
Well,
like,
that hurt them. I think it continually hurts them because especially kindergarten and things like that, they missed out on so much socializing in those early years, right? I mean, it sucked for my boy because he missed out on and my nieces, they basically missed out on some of the best, those high school years.
Mhm.
I mean, when he went back and they started again, he would he'd have to wear a mask, no lockers, so you don't know what anyone really looks like. And then he would someone would have COVID in his room, then he'd be home for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right?
a lot of COVID babies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Portions of this hour brought to you by the Canadian Brew House. NHL lives at the Canadian Brew House. Every Oilers game day, get $1 off tankards of Molson Canadian and Coors Light, where you can win game tickets and 2 tickets to a surf and turf dinner at the end of the season. Full details at the CanadianBrewHouse.com. We will continue Oiler talk. Sorry, we got into this whole memories of when the good old COVID hit and kind of what we did during it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't the best situation.
You
We
made
all
the
know
best
that.
of it. I
Made the
mean,
best
when you
of
can.
it. And I'm a
always-
guy who likes watching TV, so for me, it was awesome.
Well, you know what? It's just like it's good that we can do this because it was a rough time, right? But when you think back of rough times and you can just pull out the good that happened, I think that's a sign of a happy
Like, we're
person.
over it, it's done. But like, that's why I look back at it and like sometimes we laugh about certain things.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and you know, like, because I was like terrified of COVID. I'll be honest.
No, I heard. Yeah.
Yeah, so like me and the GF always like laugh about it, like how crazy it was, but like we remember that night with the vodka cranberry, how sick we got. Yeah,
Sick.
and then, but we always made good food and
Really
stuff like
clean
that.
urinary tracts, though.
Yeah, for sure. All right, coming up next, we'll get to your favorite segment of the week. It's the Red Light District with Joaquin Gage here on EST Afternoons. Keep sending us messages to the good old nasty chat in the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. We're halfway to 100. Keep slamming that thumbs up. We're back with the Red Light District. Here's Coop. Sports update time.
Edmonton hits the ice in New Jersey. EST has you set with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show live alongside Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Tune in for that right here at 4:30. And Dougie Hamilton's season is done for the Devils. The veteran suffered his season-ending lower body injury last week against the Stars. Another defensive hit for the Devils has Jonas Siegenthaler out for the year as well. And around the league, JT Miller and New York takes on Minnesota. The Flyers host the Lightning, while Connor Bedard and the Blackhawks face Macklin Celebrini and the Sharks. And tied at 15th, Taylor Pendrith is the highest-ranked Canadian at 2 under through 7 holes in round 1. The American Lucas Glover holds first place at 6 under, playing all 18 holes. NBA action has Washington visit Detroit. Nets and Bulls going at it, while the Bucks and Lakers throw down on a 5-game slate. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated since 1993. They're more than just plywood. They offer everything from doors and flooring to decking, fencing, and custom millwork. Windsor Plywood Leduc. They're the experts you need to know. Gager has the red light district. After a brief intermission, I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're on The Loop.
The EST Hangout.
I just hate this divisional playoff. I just wish they'd go back to 1 versus 8. How are they not going to play the King? When you look at the standings, like, isn't it going to be that?
It should be. It
Should probably be. I mean, there's still, 18 games left or something?
Big Uke saying Oilers would play Avs right now. It was 1 versus 8.
That's where.
I don't think there's an...
It's definitely worse.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Love is in the air. I love you. And you? And you? And you? Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of The Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino. Don't miss the internationally recognized tribute, the Alan Jackson Experience, April 18th at the River Cree Resort and Casino. Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement? Bet on it.
Hungry and need it now? The Canadian Brewhouse Express Lunch, served in under 15 minutes or it's free, Monday to Friday till 2 p.m. Roasted turkey club and soup, Alberta Wagyu ravioli, and more. Fast, fresh, and no excuses. Get to the Canadian Brewhouse. Our house is your house.
Joaquin.
You don't have to put on the red light. Those days are over. You don't have to sell your body to the night.
Joaquin.
You don't have to wear that dress tonight. Walk the streets for money. You don't care if it's wrong or if it's right.
Joaquin.
You don't have to put on the red light.
Joaquin.
You don't have to put on the red light.
Joaquin. 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 1:45. Welcome back to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk. How you doing? There is a snowfall warning, Gager. Man, it's terrible. Terrible.
Suck it up.
And then Daily Faceoff just announced that the Oilers have announced their starting goalies. Stuart Skinner goes tonight. Calvin Pickard goes tomorrow.
Nice.
So there you have it. The Oilers lose. We all know why.
How about there's another game tonight, the goalie battle of the best goalie friend tandem ever, Swayman and Ullmark. Both confirmed Senators, Bruins.
Nice. Like that. Going Sens on that one. Ian says, my girls still talk about the Stanley Cup win. It was crazy, this from Looney Len. March 11th is my son's birthday, and that year we were at the old spaghetti factory at West Edmonton Mall, and everybody's phone was going crazy, the adult, and then they even stopped taking the plates and stuff off the table. We always laughed at on my son's birthday. The world stood still by the time we got home. Everything had been shut down. Hadiki Spark says, I sat in the lower bowl for $14, but this was, what is he talking about? For the pandemic, maybe? But this was the upper bowl, no food or drinks, craziness.
Yeah.
Oh, man, what a time. What a time. But let's get to your favorite segment of the week. It is time for the Red Light District with Joaquin Gage.
So, and this is because I know we've been harping on this, but the F1 right around the corner, I've fallen in love with this sport. I find it completely fascinating. The drama, the characters, the way it's presented, I think it's just fantastic. 24 races perfectly, runs right through Christmas. But I wanted to ask our listeners and you guys as well.
Okay.
So here in Edmonton, we don't lie. It's dominated by hockey. Hockey is our. It's not our national sport, or did it get changed? I was trying to see if it was or not. But look, all eyes are on the Oilers and how they do. But what other sport do you have that you really like that you can't wait till it starts? And maybe it's not hockey. Maybe you're looking for something else. For me, obviously, I cannot wait for the start of the F1 season. I think it comes in. We are in the perfect hemisphere for it. Obviously not today. It doesn't look great, but it's kind of the start of spring. Things start looking better. We come out of the doldrums of winter. And I just can't wait to get going. And it goes all the way through till December, right? So for me, the aside from hockey, the main sport, the first one I would rank number one would be F1. Is there a sport that you can't wait to start?
Well, I'm really getting into F1. I'm trying to learn a lot more. And then I really enjoyed the first Indy race I've ever watched. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to the second one and learning more about it. It's probably going to take me the whole season to get everything figured out. But I will say for me, I'm not a big club soccer guy. Like, I don't watch Champions League. Like, I'll tune in once in a while. I don't really watch it. I like World Cup qualifying. So I like watching Chile. Canada doesn't have to qualify because it's going to be in Canada. But so they do it in like segments. So it's called the FIFA week where all the players travel to their countries to play their World Cup qualifying games. And there's no club games those weeks. So the next one is in the end of this month.
Nice.
So I always look forward to that, even though Chile's terrible right now. They're like in last place, but there's a little glimmer of hope. I still get up for the games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're exciting. They're fun. So it's September, October, November, and then it goes all the way to March, and then they won't play again until June.
Okay.
Because it's 2 games they play during each FIFA week. So for me, it's World Cup qualifying games for Chile. And if Canada last World Cup had to qualify, that was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I look forward to those 2 countries playing. So that to me would be one that I really look forward to. And I'm looking forward to the games are coming up. Like I watch Chilean shows like us that are breaking down the games and the roster selections and how bad they are. And because I'm not going to say CFL because for me, CFL is just like the NHL. Like I love it. Like it's part of me. It's not it's just.
Well, we got a couple choices here.
Yeah. Coob, you got one?
Well, it never ends. I think briefly it kind of does for like a month or so. They do a New Year's kind of celebration or near Christmas, and then they're done for an entire month. It's brutal. The UFC. Of course, you guys hear me always talking about it. Anytime anybody mentions UFC, I always perk my ears. Like you read a Brewhouse liner, and it's UFC 314 or whatever it is, and I go, huh? What? UFC? So anything fighting related, really. It gets me going.
I guess I would say CFL because I love the CFL.
Yeah,
I grew up on it, so like But I worked in it, so it was a little bit different, right?
UFC is kind of funny because there's a break over Christmas usually, you say, but you don't get that, that real kind of stoppage, and then it all there's not a season of UFC. But that I wonder, that would be kind of cool if they had it. Okay, this is the only months that we do it, and then go from there. But no, I guess that'd be tough.
That's good.
My second one,
The Ultimate Fighter, tough.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. My second one is the CFL, and this is because obviously slinging dogs for a few years now, joining here and doing the show and having our fearless leader call games, talking to a lot of Elks recently. I'm really looking forward to this. What they've done this year, being in the locker room, I'm excited. So the next favorite sport aside from F1 and that I'm looking forward to this year is the CFL.
Bronco Nick says NFL for me. I like this one from Caleb. He says I can't wait for MotoGP races in the summer.
A lot of people love those things. My uncle, on my wife's side, he watches that all the time.
That's crazy. It's Christmas party for the GF and one of her friend's husbands. He's always showing me rugby.
Oh, okay.
He's really into rugby.
Yeah.
He has it on his phone. He's like, no, I was just watching the game last night. And I'm like, I always love hearing those stories because I'm not into it, but I love seeing other people passionate about stuff like that, right? Like there's a cricket documentary on Netflix, the biggest rival between I think it's Pakistan and India.
Oh, in cricket.
And it's like I watched the first 2 episodes. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Like these guys are like true competitors. They're awesome.
They're rock stars too.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They're rock stars, right? It's awesome. Baggio says, as you can tell by my handle, World Cup and Euros are up there. Oh, for sure. This might shock you guys. Mike, the Michigan fan. I start counting down the days after the spring game for the season opener of the Michigan Wolverines football season. And a lot of people love college ball.
Yeah. Matty Iwanek, I would say he's...
Matty and the Holt brothers. I know some people really wait for the Briar and the Scotties, right?
Yeah,
curling, tennis tournaments, golf. Like the Masters is coming up. I'm sure everybody's like stoked about that.
Yeah. Coob?
Locally, well, I guess the Electric City Cactus Rats season is going to be coming up. Of course, the Riverhawks.
Yeah.
They've been there. Fantastic season last year. Excited to see what they're going to do this year because I never really watched a baseball game in my life in person.
Oh, it's great.
And that was the first time, and I love it. I got it probably ranked over seeing the Elks live. Like they make it so enjoyable down there at Remax.
It's a unique experience down there.
I was really looking forward to playing soccer again. That went out the window.
Hey, we flip a coin, right? It's like a 50-50 chance we might make it. We might have to find the names of the people who are ahead of us in the possible wait list. Like there might be like 5 people on this wait list. We don't even know how many people are there.
It's crazy, man. Van Owen says, I always look forward to the 3 grand tours of cycling.
Oh.
Interesting.
The Nature Boy into the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. I'm with you, Gager. I'm hooked on F1. Although I don't get up at 5 in the morning to catch a race overseas, my routine is I do not look at my phone on race days. While I'm making Sunday dinner for my family, I watch the pre-race, the race, and post-race. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to apply for your open position in your pool, but if you need a replacement for Kent Morrison, Nature Boy, I suggest, I don't know.
Is he in?
No.
Oh.
I suggest you try just maybe not 5, but if it's like at 6, Sunday morning, it was just so peaceful, usually. Like everyone's sleeping. It's just the dog. And you make, a coffee, get up, go downstairs on the big TV. Usually I grab some headphones and because I'd have the F1 TV through the Apple TV, so I get that killer sound with the surround with the headphones. Someone usually scares the crap out of me when they touch my shoulder coming downstairs, but it's just a nice way to start your Sunday, I think.
Sure, but that's I don't know if I'll get up that early. I'll try. That's why I like Indy now because they're all later.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's better. Have a nice breakfast and stuff because 6 a.m. is early.
I love it.
Do you know what I
mean?
mean?
I'm up that early anyway.
John Cardle says, I can't wait for the Stanley Cup parade this summer with fans chanting Skinner's name. Jeff Skinner or Stewart? Who would be the bigger hero? Probably Jeff, eh?
Yeah.
Zedmo says hockey and boxing. Big Maple, we're on a 16-week run with UFC every Saturday. See, but is that too much?
It's not an actual UFC, though. There's fight night. Like, they kind of have these lesser UFC fighters in there. It's still the fighting championship, but you're getting like 15th and 13th ranked fighters who probably won't fight for the belt, if ever, right? Like, they're kind of up and comers and stuff like that. Like, you get more of the young guns and I guess prospects of the fighting championship, and prospects they could be like 26 or even 30. Like some people don't blossom until they hit their 30s, but the big UFC ones, they've had a lot more of them as of recent, and some of them have really been duds, like the 313. Some of the fights were really, really hard to watch, especially that main event where Pereira lost to Ankalaev in the light heavyweight division. Like there's some where it's like, oh, it's a championship, but it's
sometimes
not John Jones,
there just
right?
seems too many.
Back in my day, like you'd have one once every 2 months, and you looked forward.
Yeah.
And Joe Rogan might have had hair back then.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. How about this one? What's the race where they carry the wife? You know, when they, I think.
The finish. Then they win like beer for a month.
The wife's beer.
Yeah,
the wife's weight.
In beer. Yeah. That's in Finland, isn't it? I think it's in Finland.
The boys are talking about it here on the chat. Winner got like $500 and their wife's weight in beer. Oh, that's amazing. That's a good one though. What do you look forward to? Because now we're in full like sports mode. Like everything's soccer, auto racing, golf, the Masters in April.
Yeah, that's right around the corner, right?
Yeah.
That always coincided. You knew if you were going to make the playoffs or not, and you usually sitting at home watching that Masters last few games of the year.
The CFL is we're just a month and a half away from training camp.
My third one was the Riverhawks. It's
a great time.
It's a great time.
I love going.
If you can do the double header of Riverhawks and then Elks.
That's great. On a nice hot day. You got to pace yourself.
Yeah.
Got to pace yourself. The Afternoon Inbox is presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the Kitchen Restaurant. All you can eat prime rib buffet for just $49.99 every Sunday from 4 to 10 p.m. All right, second hour, Mike Morreale from NHL.com to talk some New Jersey Devils. Gager's out at 2:30 today. 2:30, he's leaving me. Yeah. You didn't know that, Coop?
No, you don't tell me anything.
Well,
barely
give me the sheet and tell me to shut up.
He just told me that. He just told me that.
Stop it. I told you last week.
All right. We'll continue to tee up Oilers and Devils. And I do want to get to the topic you guys are discussing on too, guys. We'll do that next year on Edmonton Sports Talk. We're back after the break.
The Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne.
Cole Miller from the Oil Kings joining us. So you guys are back in the playoffs. What did it mean to clinch a few days ago?
You go from winning it a few years ago, and then you have a year or two of rebuilding, and all the guys are excited. Some of them it's their first time. Some of them it might be their last time. We're ready in that room to take on whoever it may be first round.
The Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne, weekday afternoon 3 to 6, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino. Don't miss miss the internationally recognized tribute, the Alan Jackson Experience, April 18th at the River Cree Resort and Casino. Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement? Bet on it.
Stuart Skinner is a confirmed starter for the Oilers as they face the Devils. Join Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas right here on EST when they go live for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show, previewing the action live at 4:30. A big loss for the Devils. Dougie Hamilton's regular season is done. He got banged up with a lower body injury last week, with his playoff availability up in the air. On the ice tonight, Bruins battle the Sens, Panthers, and Maple Leafs go toe-to-toe as Alex Ovechkin continues his great chase as the Caps go at it against the Kings, having 8 games around the league. And on the court, there's 5 games of Lakers and Bucks showdown. Sacramento meets Golden State, and the Magic tip off against the Pelicans. Spring training saw the Jays beat the Orioles 6-4. And Max Scherzer, Toronto's Max Scherzer, was scheduled to take the mound in today's game. He had to undergo an MRI on his thumb. That showed nothing serious. He'll pitch tomorrow against the Astros. I'm Zachary Kubish. You're up to date. The second hour of EST Afternoons starts right now.
Welcome back to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk. We're live from the William Huff Studios, west side of the city. Joaquin, Gage, Hernan Salas, Coob in the house. Reid Wilkins coming up with Jay Milne. They'll go from 3 to 4:30. Tom Gazzola will jump on 4:30 to 5:30, and then the Reid and Jay will jump on for the final half hour where they'll have, I think, Reid's first boss in the broadcast.
Yeah, I heard that.
So it's going to be a cool conversation. And then, of course, we'll rejoin you guys for the post-game shows talking about an Oilers 6-1 win over the New Jersey Devils tomorrow. Kind of same situation. We'll be on location, though, for pre- and post-game shows. It's going to be Boston Pizza, Westgate. So go hang out there, see Tommy and the boys. I'll probably be there for pregame. And we'll have some fun as we head into the weekend. And then they'll finish this road trip on Sunday. So we'll be on air at 4 p.m. for the pregame show. And back later that night to recap all the action from MSG. So you guys were discussing, is this Oilers decor better than last year's? And I was listening in the bullpen, and I was like, man, that's a fascinating question.
Yeah.
So I'll put it this way. I think CeCe's better than Stetcher, Klimberg, Josh Brown. The way Emberson has played, I think it's almost even. So they didn't upgrade CeCe, right? They didn't at the start of the season. I think Vinny Desharnais is probably better than a Josh Brown, but I think you'd still take Stetcher over him, would you? Or are they kind of similar?
Vinny got exposed late, right?
Yes, he did. The speed and kind of the intensity of the playoffs got to him.
He was also very effective on the PK.
He was.
Really effective, right?
A PK that was outstanding.
Yeah, and he was part of that. So it's hard. But I think the biggest, there's some washes, like obviously the play of Darnell Nurse has brought it up a little bit. But I just think, I hate to say it, but I think just the play of Ekholm lately and the play of Bouchard compared to last year at this same time, it's just not at the same level yet.
No,
And so
it's
that makes me kind of say that this year's is a little bit behind of last year's.
So how did they end last year? They ended with Ekholm and Bush, Nurse and Broberg, right?
Kulak and
who was the other guy? Oh,
Ceci.
Ceci.
Yeah.
The 7th was
Desharnais.
What number was he again?
Doesn't matter.
73.
Desharnais. Okay, so right now, when everybody's healthy, you'll have 14 and 2. So Ekholm and Bouchard.
Yep.
You'll have Nurse and Wallman.
Okay.
And then you'll have Kulak and Emberson.
Okay.
And your 7th, 8th are Klimberg and Stetcher.
Yeah.
So what's better?
Well,
So the top pairing stays the same.
It could be better. Like, I think it could actually be better because Darnell Nurse's game's improved.
Yes.
Right? And the level that we know Ekholm and Bouchard can get to in the playoffs is elite.
Yeah.
Like, Evan Bouchard was getting put out in the last minute and a half with a 1-goal lead.
He was
right?
playing excellent.
Yeah. So I would have to say, and the big things are Nurse and Brett Kulak has had a fantastic season, right?
So let's just take out how they're playing. So 14 and 2, you're okay with that. Okay. 25, so Darnell Nurse with Jake Wallman over Philip Broberg. Is that better, the same, or
I think
worse?
it's better.
Okay.
Because Darnell Nurse is better.
Okay. Then you have Cody Ceci with Brett Kulak last year. Now you have Brett Kulak with Ty Emberson. I think that's almost a wash.
I would say Cece's a little bit
better.
But Emberson Cece's he's not getting any better.
No.
And we still don't know what the ceiling of Emberson, and he's been on a great trajectory of the progression of his game throughout the whole year.
And then when you look at the extras, you had Vinny Desharnais and Stetcher, but Stetcher was dealing with that ankle infection and all that. But now you have Klimberg and Stetcher.
That's fine. That's great.
So I almost think it's almost even, or they're a little bit better this year.
I think if you're just on paper, they're better this year.
On paper, because if we're going to talk about games,
Yeah.
a lot of the Oilers players are struggling.
Yeah.
Let's call it how it is. So, what say you, Nasties? Like I didn't see the feedback on two guys, but is this decor better? So we have Ekholm with Bush, we have Nurse with Wallman, and we have Kulak with Emberson, and then your extras are Klimberg and Stetcher. Last year you had Ekholm and Bouchard, Nurse with Broberg, Kulak with Ceci, Desharnais and Stetcher were your extras. Which one's better? Let us know on the River Korean Box 780-218-9999 or hit us up on the nasty chat. Yeah, man. I mean, that's a tough one.
I think it's better.
Not by a lot. Because, like you said, Ceci and Emberson, like Ceci's older, limited to what he can do, where there's still a little bit more upside with Emberson. And he hasn't been bad. He's had his moments here and there, right, Gager? So,
Hyman into the River Korean box saying, I asked Tommy and DVD the other day, but never asked Hernan and Gager, do you think Evan Bouchard could ever become defensively responsible? The answer is yes, because we saw it at the highest level, right?
We saw it last year. It's there.
It's somewhere in there.
It just feels like it's a choice right now that he doesn't want to engage in any physicality, anything that's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Pickle Rick says the decor is worse than last year. Ekholm and Bouch play alone have not been okay, but I'm talking on paper, guys.
Yeah, no, we just explained that, right? Yeah. Like if Ekholm and Bouchard find their level of play that we saw last year at this time, then you have to say that you don't have to, but I think you have to really have deep consideration that this decor is actually a little bit better than last year.
Because then we have to look back at Nurse's playoffs where he was not very good. You have to look at Desharnais' struggles. Ceci was up and down. Like, you have to look at a lot of things. So on paper, guys, and let's just say all these guys are playing good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which one's better? So, yeah, Evan Bouchard's, he's such an interesting cat, man. Oh, yeah. Like, I mean, we saw it in the playoffs, guys. Like, no one can sit here and deny that Evan Bouchard was not excellent in the playoffs. No one can sit there and say he was terrible.
He was excellent.
He was excellent. What happened to that player from the end of June till October?
Too much fat and sassy in the
I
summertime.
don't know what happened, because even offensively, like, he finally scored a power play goal because he had an empty netter.
Does he have 2 now?
He has 2 now. But like, it's just, and Gager, it's I'm not blaming Ekholm's struggles on Bouchard completely, because you're your own man and you're out there doing your own thing. But Ekholm hasn't looked.
Looks frustrated and a little bit not. It was weird because the Four Nations, he looked really good. He looked really, really good.
Yeah, like Ekholm has, I think Ekholm's got caught into the when Darnell Nurse struggles, he's trying to do it all.
Maybe.
And maybe he's a little frustrated with his partner because he's turning pucks over, leaving him in bad spots. It's
yeah,
because let's be honest, Ekholm hasn't been terrible. We're not saying that, but he hasn't been as good as he was last year.
No.
And maybe this break that he's on, maybe it's a minor injury and some illness and just some rest, it will do him good, because you need this guy at his best.
I'd like to see him get, maybe a couple goals that Ekholm, like Thor's hammer, when he's just below the face-off dot. Sometimes he gets that puck and roofs it on goalies. It's just a cannon.
Yeah. Do you think they have to dial back Bouchard's minutes a bit?
Ooh.
He's playing 23 to 26 a night. They're chasing games a lot, though.
Yeah.
Right? And he is, I mean, he can spring anyone with a pass like that, right? Like, that's how talented he is. But
what do you think is the perfect amount of minutes for Evan Bouchard on a nightly basis? 20?
Yeah, I was going to say 18 to 20.
18 to 20?
Because he's going to get a lot of the gravy power play time.
Yeah.
But I understand why they use him a lot, because he makes great passes.
He does.
He can get that puck out. But he's struggling mightily defensively. So it's like, where do you balance this out?
It's funny because it's almost like they're playing him, hopefully trying to get him to find his game, right? Because they know they need him in a sense, I guess. He's very dynamic offensively, but in other, like, this is, I really think they should run with Skinner here, man. Get him really going.
Zulu says, much better on D. Look at the depth there than last year. Just like you guys say, 2 and 14, not as effective when you roll them out 23 plus a game. It shows, but yeah, that's the reality. Now you're gonna land more minutes on Wallman for sure, because he's been good. You're gonna land more minutes. Kulak can play. He's showing you this year. He can play 25 minutes.
That one, what was the good? Was it the game in Carolina when he played the most, like 26 or something like that? Like,
so now you have 5 guys on this team, Joaquin, that can play anywhere from 22 to 26 minutes, and probably even more.
Yeah, then that's a good.
Where last
that's a good
year
thing to have.
You didn't know Kulak could do it because they never tried it. Cece couldn't do it. Broberg, probably a lot to ask him to play that much. Darnell Nurse was fighting it. But now you have 5 guys on this team that can play a ton of minutes for you. So spread it out.
Yeah.
Right? Because Emberson and Stetcher, when they're in, and Klimberg to a certain extent, they're always a little bit lower. They're like at 14, where everybody's above 18, 20, right? So, Zedmo, 14 looks like he has the flu. Maybe he's got the dusty flu, man. Took him out for a month.
Well, yeah, let him heal up. Like, I guess he's not on the trip, is he?
No, he's not going to make it.
Yeah.
I guess he was supposed to meet him in New York, and they said, just stay.
Stay.
Listen, if they can find wins on this road trip, it's going to work out perfectly, because you're resting this guy. He's going to come back feeling good, right?
Well,
hopefully.
I'm sure that's the plan.
Max Bezuzu, Bouchard should be third pair minutes plus power play time plus 6 versus 5. So I don't know what that equal to. Is that 20 minutes? But you're right. Like,
it's kind of, isn't that what Barry had? That was his kind of minutes when he was here. Like, he didn't get top 4 minutes, but when the power play.
So take some of his minutes, give him to Wallman. That's the solution. And if you want to throw Kulak up with 25 sometimes, give him some of those minutes as well. Because I think it's also going to benefit Bouchard more.
I think it would be better, but I don't know. I do think it would be better to lower his minutes a little bit. But it depends on a power play. If they get 5 power plays a game, right? Of course, he's going to be up there. A lot of those minutes are power play.
Yeah. But like last game, they didn't even get one.
I guess.
And he was still at 23, 24. Okay. Again, they're chasing the game, so he's going to be out there a lot more. So, interesting little conversation here. Which D-core is better? The one that finished last year's playoffs or the one this year right now at this moment? That's going to be the Oilers' 7 or 8 defensemen going into the playoffs. Interesting question. Let us know what you think on the River Korean box, 780-218-9999, or on the Nasty Chat.
18 games left. How many of those do the Oilers need to win?
For me, at least 12, 13.
Yeah. 50 wins?
Yeah.
They need 50 wins.
They got to get there, man. And you got to feel good about yourself going into the playoffs. All right, coming up next, we'll head to New Jersey to talk with Mike Morreale from NHL.com. We'll get all the goods on the Devils as they take on the Oilers this evening at 5:30. That's all coming up here on EST Afternoons, live from the William Huff Studios here, Edmonton Sports Talk. Hit us up on the Nasty Chat and give us a thumbs up. We're 37 away from 100. So if you haven't slammed the thumbs up, please do so now. Thank you very much. We're back after the break. Here is Coop with your sports update.
The Oilers dance with the Devils in New Jersey. Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas have the details on the matchup when they go live for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 4:30 right here on EST. For the Devils, veteran Dougie Hamilton is out for the remainder of the regular season. He suffered a lower body injury against the Stars last week. His playoff availability is up in the air. Elsewhere, Connor Zary of the Flames is set to have a hearing with the NHL's Department of Player Safety for hitting Vancouver's Elias Pettersson up high and pinning him to the ice last night. 8 other games around the league. Florida goes at it with Toronto. LA and Washington clash while the Blue Jackets challenge the Golden Knights. And on the court, there's 5 games. The Lakers and Bucks showdown. Sacramento meets Golden State in the Magic tip-off against the Pelicans. In spring training, the Jays won 6-3 against the Orioles, and Toronto's Max Scherzer was scheduled to take the mound in today's game. He had to undergo an MRI, however. That one showing no serious injuries. He'll pitch tomorrow against the Astros. Mike Morreale from NHL.com joins EST Afternoons on the other side of the break to preview the Oilers vs. Devils. I'm Zachary Kubish, and that was your sports update.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Make your birthday legendary at the Canadian Brewhouse with epic food, killer drinks, and an unbeatable vibe. Plus, download the Canadian Brewhouse app and score free nachos on your big day. Book your party now to celebrate like a pro. The Canadian Brewhouse. Our house is your house.
Love is in the air. I love you. And you? And you? And you! Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Got some gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus, shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
Always down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion, and holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing, if you know it's time.
2:21. Welcome back to EST Afternoons. I thought that was a promo. I wasn't even ready. Oh, let's go. Welcome back to EST Afternoons. We got the goalie, Joaquin Gage, Hernan, Salas, Zach Kubish in the house. We're live from the William Huff Studios as we're going to head down south to talk some New Jersey Devils, the Oilers' opponent tonight, as they get set to host the good old Edmonton Oilers, coming off a very disappointing loss to the Buffalo Sabres on Monday night. And to talk all things Devils, Mike Morreale from NHL.com joins us. Mike, how you doing this afternoon?
What's going on, boys? Glad to join the program and talk Devils Oilers.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one down there tonight for sure, Mike. Let's talk about this Devils team. I mean, two huge losses. Really unfortunate to see Jack Hughes out for the season, as well as Dougie Hamilton. How's the team looked since Jack Hughes went down on March 2nd?
Yeah, and it's not easy, right? I mean, you lose your biggest playmaker, goal scorer, point producer, power play, and let's face it, Jack was doing some real good things on the penalty kill with Jesper Bratt. That duo was doing wonders on the PK this season until the injury. But look, it's Hamilton. We just learned today that he will miss the regular season. And we knew that Jonas Siegenthaler is also out for the regular season. So, it's just a combined effort here. The guys got to pick up the pieces. Some big names on the D core. I was talking with Brendan Dillon today, and he was telling me how, there's going to be more minutes for some players that maybe weren't getting those minutes. You look at Luke Hughes and how well he has played since the departure of both Siegs and Hamilton. And on the forward side, look, I know during the trade deadline, most Devils fans are looking for that big name center to kind of help with the absence of Jack Hughes, and that never materialized. But I thought Tom Fitzgerald did a decent job, filling in some depth roles, obviously acquiring Cody Glass, who's fit in well at the third line center, and getting a veteran defenseman in Brian Dumoulin from Anaheim has worked out well as well.
Mike, so what you're saying is just regular season for Hamilton? Is there the possibilities? Is he coming back for the first round, or would it be longer than that? And who in your mind with these guys that are out of the lineup now, who do you have your eye on that's going to take some of those minutes and maybe make a name for themselves?
Yeah, so with regard to Dougie Hamilton, obviously Tom Fitzgerald was on a podcast yesterday and did say that it could be through the first round if the Devils do get that far, the absence of Hamilton. Sheldon Keefe, when we asked him about it this morning, he did say it looks like he'd be surprised if he did return during the regular season. So we'll see. We know it's regular season. I guess there's a chance, depending on how many games the first round matchup did go. I guess there's a possibility there. As far as players replacing the guys that left or gaining some more minutes and more ice time, you kind of look at a guy like, I look at a guy like Timo Meyer has been getting had his power play time, kicked back a little bit early in the season with Stefan Nason here playing net front, and they had Heischer, working in that bumper role. So Timo was on the second power play, but now it's Hughes gone. Timo's going to be expected to gain a lot more minutes here, top power play minutes. Look, this is his 9th NHL season, 3rd with the Devils, and he's long been praised for his ability to generate offensive chances, throw those big hits, block shots. But he was also brought over here to score some big goals. And I think this is his time to shine. He's got 18. He's on the verge of his fourth straight 20-goal season, which is really good when you consider all things considered and what the Devils have up front here. Dawson Mercer is another guy that should gain plenty of minutes. He was playing on wing when Jack Hughes was in the lineup, but now he's at center, that second-line center role. Expect Dawson to do a lot of good things there. He's done well as a 200-foot player. I really like his gapping, his stick control. He's good on the PK, so a lot of good things to like about Dawson and what he might be able to bring with more minutes. Defensively, and I mentioned it earlier, Luke Hughes has really come into his own this year. I asked Sheldon Keefe about the maturation of Luke from September to this point in Sheldon's first year as head coach, and he just said, it's the consistency. There were some hiccups mid-season, a quarter of the way in, but now with getting more ice time, more responsibility, and I got to say, being partnered with Brett Pesce has really aided and helped in Luke's development this year. That veteran leadership that Pesce has been able to provide off the ice, on the bench. You see those two talking a lot, and that pairing has worked wonders. Right now, it's going to be the top line pairing with Hamilton out and Joaquin Siegenthaler out. So I think those four players are really going to pick up some ice time, and I think Devils fans hope they can do some damage.
Mike, how the Devils been at home this year? I was looking at some numbers, and it kind of up and down. It seems like that, but how they've been on home ice this year? Is they're getting an Oilers team, Mike, that is since the Four Nations break, they haven't played some good hockey here outside of maybe one game, 1.5. They've struggled mightily. So we're looking at New Jersey and seeing what advantage they could have. So are they struggling a bit at home ice?
Yeah, well, the thing is with the Devils, you know how you normally ask post-game, you go into the locker room, and if a team scores first, you're like, oh, it was huge, real huge to get that opening goal. And most players will say, well, of course it is. But for the Devils, I think it's two times the effect, because it seems like when they're able to score the first goal at home ice, and look, they're playing about 500 hockey at home. So Oilers are coming in. And another advantage for the Oilers is the fact that obviously Connor McDavid didn't play in that first game. He'll be here in the second game between these two teams. But, I mean, with the Devils, they score first. I believe they're 8-0-0 in their last 8 when they do score that first goal of the game. So that's going to be critical for the Oilers to make sure they kind of shut it down or at least keep it within distance in that first period. The Devils came out storming against the Columbus Blue Jackets on Tuesday, scored 3 goals in the first period, and pretty much went one going away, 5-3 in that one. So the Devils right now looking to get that quick start. The fans are usually in it here. Obviously, with Edmonton in town, McDavid, Draisaitl, they're going to be pumped up. So it'll be critical for Edmonton to. Obviously, you want to see them go. Both teams like to go with speed and run and gun, but defense is going to be paramount here for both clubs if they want to have success second, third period as well.
Hey, you mentioned the defense. You got a young defender. It looks like he's thrusted into the lineup, the young Simon Nemec. What can you tell us about this young Slovakian? I know it's a small sample size, but it does look like he's been a regular call-up for the New Jersey Devils.
Yeah, he has been. Obviously, the number 2 pick in the draft a few years ago. He's been learning the ropes in Utica. When he was in Slovakia, and they were playing him there, he was mostly, a kind of an offensive type defenseman. He chipped in offensively, was known for that size to get back. In Utica, they started playing him on the penalty kill to get him accustomed to playing more in his own end and not, rushing the transition. And I think it worked for Shimon a little bit. Early in the season, when the Devils opened the season in Prague against the Buffalo Sabres, he was among the defensemen in the top 6, along with Seamus Casey. He was also played as a fill-in role every so often and done a nice job. But obviously now with Hamilton and Siegenthaler out for the rest of the regular season, Nemec is going to have his number called quite often. Good size when he's playing well. He had a few hiccups against Winnipeg last week in a big loss for the Devils. 3 goals they allowed, 3 or 4 goals they were allowed there in the third period, And Sheldon Keefe did point out to Nemec that he needs to clean it up. He was benched the following game, which was against Columbus, and now he's back into the lineup for Dennis Cholowski. So it'll be his opportunity playing alongside a real aggressive, feisty defenseman in Brendan Dillon. So it'll give Nemec an opportunity to see what he can do here and maybe clean up what the mistakes that he had in the previous game.
Mike, one last one for you here. It sounds like McDavid and Draisaitl will be on separate lines. We'll see how long it lasts. Usually it doesn't last long, but if this is the case, Nico Hischier will get the McDavid line. Who do you see going up against Draisaitl?
Yeah, I would say Dawson Mercer's line will probably go against Leon, which should be a fantastic matchup. It's going to be really intriguing and interesting to watch that Hischier McDavid matchup. Obviously, two elite players in this league. You look at McDavid and what he's done, obviously, and Hischier, of course, is one of those players. Look, he's not going to win the Hart Trophy, guys, but he always could be in that running for that selfie for just the defensive type minded player he is and able to produce offensively. I think Mercer's going to get that chance possibly against Draisaitl. Obviously, you have Cody Glass and Curtis Lazar as 3C and 4C. So I'm sure Sheldon Keefe's going to want some of those 200-foot guys with some offensive capabilities to also playing those shutdown roles against those two elite centers. So it's gonna be a good one tonight, guys.
For sure, Mike. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Enjoy the game tonight, and I'm sure we'll talk heading into the playoffs. Thanks again.
Yep. Thanks a lot, boys. Enjoy the evening. Enjoy the games.
Thank you. That's Mike Morreale from NHL.com. He's been there for years. He's covers the New Jersey Devils and goes around the NHL as well. Does great work.
Great
as
stuff.
Well. You got to go.
Yeah, I got to go. You going to be okay without me?
Yeah. Might cry a little bit.
You won't cry. Just work on your F1 team. You'll be fine. You got the Coupe.
Got the Coupe. I think Reid's going to jump in for a bit
nice.
too. Yeah.
Some professional broadcasting. All right. He's been in the league for 25 years.
He's been around for a while. Yeah, like it's pretty crazy.
Good to you.
All
right, everybody.
We'll see you
Love
tomorrow.
you.
We'll see you tomorrow. Oh, I'm still on there. Yeah. No, you can put me back, Coob, if you'd like. Yeah. He's got to get out here. We'll get to a break here right away. So tomorrow we return with another edition of Zach to the Future. I'm going to throw something out there. You got any questions that you want me to send Coob's way? Now, it can be pop culture. It can be sports, music, movies.
Specifically 80s and 90s.
Specifically
trivia,
80s and 90s. If you'd like to help out, and we'll give you the credit on the show, email me at hernan@edmontonsportstalk.com, and we'll see what you got. I'll do the clips and all that because it's just easier for me to do that. But if you got a few questions, like I said, sports, movies, TV shows, just anything, like something that was really topical back in the 80s, 90s. We got to test the Coop because up until now, how many have we done, Coop? 3 or 4?
I haven't really been keeping track. I mean, I think it's volume 4 or
coming
5.
up.
Maybe we're getting.
Well,
Did you guys do Brun to the Future last week, or was it a
we
skip?
did not.
Okay,
we
then I think I think it'll be 5. And I've passed every single time. It's been close.
That's what's making me upset that you keep passing.
Well, you got to make them harder, dude. Like, you see the questions that I had, not this week on Tuesday, but last Tuesday for Heat and Smoke. It was like 1940s trivia. Like, I was digging deep. I went a little bit easier. I didn't go all gas, no brakes this week. I took my foot off the gas just a little bit, pumping the brakes.
But like, because you're always using your lifeline on the movie one. So I almost want to take it away from the movie one because you gotta guess because you're always gonna get it right if you go to Reid, right?
Yeah. And usually I get the movie one wrong. Like, even Reid was playing some clips on his show yesterday. I'm like, was that Al Pacino who was saying that? He's like, no, not even close. Like, I most times I can't even get it in the ballpark range for the movie.
Because you're not a big
hardest
movie.
one.
You're a big movie. You're not a big movie guy. So it's always going to be hard for you.
Not really. I mean,
but I'm trying to give you like classic lines that you might have heard somewhere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you've gave me some what should be easy ones. Like, you've gone to Princess Bride and a couple like
Usual
Tom Cruise movie.
Suspects
Usual
it's a little different because not everybody's watched that movie, even though it's fantastic. Like
It's a class. Yeah, it's
the
a
last
classic.
one we did was Dirty Dancing.
And I honestly, that should be one on my list. I'm not a big like musical kind of dancey movie kind of guy. I've never watched,
But it's a
Grease.
classic, right? And the
Yeah,
phrase we
yeah.
used was "No one puts baby in the corner." It's like a classic. Like everybody uses that.
And I don't
Well, I
even
shouldn't
think I've
say
heard
everyone.
that. Yeah, I mean, I've heard Dusty maybe say it once or twice, and I got some homework to do, definitely in the film department. I love 80s and 90s movies, but whenever you do the music, I've done that. I've gotten it. Like one of those questions, you made it just the instrumental, and I was like, "Gosh, what song is that?" And I think I still got it. It was like Bryan Adams.
See, that's
Summer
the
of
thing. You're
69,
good with
right?
music because I think you've nailed most of the music ones.
I mean, I'm wearing a 90s shirt right now. Notorious B.I.G.
The B.I.G.
Yeah.
But you struggle with the movies, and then the sports one. We've made it a little bit harder because we're not giving you options now. But I think you've hit 3 out of the 4. Because the last one was kind of hard because it was a blocked field goal, but then the player recovered it. So it
was very specific. It was very specific. And the one before that, I just pulled it out of a hat. I think it was the bird one.
Yeah,
or
the
was
bird
it the
one.
soccer? Either both of them. Both of them. I guess.
Yeah.
You're like, it's a little different. You kind of gave me a hint, and I was like, did he kick it over the net? And that guy had a wonderful haircut, by the way.
Roberto Baggio.
Yes.
People are asking, when do you need the questions by? Tonight would be
ASAP,
great.
right now.
Yeah. I'll see, again, like send them in. I'll try to use as many as I can. Just helps good old Hernan. I'll be doing post game tonight. So,
trying to do less work, hey? Yeah, you're busy.
I'm being
You're
a
busy
slacker.
boy.
I'm being
You're
a
busy.
slacker.
Yeah.
No, but hey, I think the Nasties would love to hear their questions in Zach to the Future. See if they can stump Zach Kubish. YouTube Trev, team player Gager leaves Nanso hanging high and dry. I would never. Ooh.
He's really stirring the pot today.
I miss.
Did you hear the hot takes that he had?
I miss being friends with him.
Did you hear the hot take he had on you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Instead of Latino Heat, it's Latino. Take a seat. You're on the waiting list. That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
I saw another good one here on the inbox from Waddy and Cloverdale. New show name: 2 bench warmers and a goalie.
I like that.
This one says, Hernan, it's just not your week, buddy. Yeah, I know. The 49ers have cleaned house. Dusty's ducking me in Tecmo. Got promised a spot on the soccer team, then told I was on the wait list.
It's a pretty brutal week. And now it's snowing again. You kind
The
of
Oilers crap the bed on Monday. It's snowing.
They still got.
What else could go wrong, Coop?
Hopefully not a lot. I mean, the only positive thing is you can only go up from here, right? Like it's going to start getting warmer. The
Only gonna
Oilers
get better.
got to turn it around at some point.
Matt Hyman says, will Ice Cube and Brundon do a rock, paper, scissor video someday?
Could be in the books. It could be a good TikTok or something for the socials.
Brundon's still here. I think he's still hanging.
I don't know. I didn't see him. I think he ducked out. He ducked out. Yeah, about like 30 minutes ago or whatever. But yeah, we were doing Trev and I were doing the odds couples. He's 2-0 in that department. I think we did like a rock, paper, scissors or something, and then something else. We got to bring that back. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of competitive nature here in this office. Like between Reid and Trev too.
Yeah,
we have a lot of fun here.
Oh, it's great. Absolutely great. And Reid brought us some snacks today, some really good. I think Jay brought the chips. Those chips were fantastic. Did you have any?
I had a couple of the chips. I've been trying to, lay off the sweets a little bit, trying to get activated. I was training for the soccer team.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Well, don't stop. 73 thumbs up. We're 27 away. We only got about 15 minutes. Let's get there. You haven't disappointed us once this week. We've hit 100 every day. Let's do it for the Oilers. I'm saying 6-1 win today. It's going to be great vibes on the post-game show. Great vibes. We're going to be celebrating. We're going to be talking about a game where the Oilers dominated. It's going to be great, great fun. Portions of this hour brought to you by the Canadian Brewhouse. This St. Patrick's Day, the Canadian Brewhouse is giving you your shot at winning a trip for 2 to Ireland. Plus, enjoy Guinness and green beer specials. So drink up, enter to win and let the luck of the Irish do its thing. Keep slamming that thumbs up. Keep hitting us up on the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999, and let's get to 100 thumbs up. Up next, the Reid Wilkins will join me to close out the show. We're back here on EST Afternoons after the break, but first up, here's Coob with your sports update.
The Oilers get set to put their elbows up to try and scrape a win in New Jersey against the Devils. EST's got you set with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show live alongside Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Tune in right here at 4:30. Dougie Hamilton's season is done for the Devils. His regular season, the veteran suffering the injury, lower body injury last week against the Stars. His playoff availability is up in the air. Calgary's Connor Zary has been suspended 2 games for elbowing Vancouver's defenseman Elias Pettersson. Of course, not the forward. And around the league, JT Miller and New York takes on Minnesota. The Flyers host the Lightning, while Connor Bedard and the Blackhawks face Macklin Celebrini and the Sharks. NBA action has Washington visit Detroit. Nets and Bulls going at it, while the Bucks and Lakers throw down on a 5-game slate. This sports update is brought to you by Gimme Virtual Golf. And Gimme Virtual Golf has membership and flex passes to fit your style, with premium members getting complimentary winter bag storage. Don't forget, Gimme Virtual Golf is giving away 2 free hours of golf tomorrow here on EST Afternoons. Stay tuned for that. Gimme Virtual Golf, where innovation meets the game. Find out more at GimmeVirtualGolf.ca. The pro, Mr. Reid Wilkins, joins Hernan Salas on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you in the loop.
2 guys and a goalie.
Don't you dare.
Look
Tell me
at the
that's
text
not the
line.
guy. I'm sorry to do it, but it has to be brought up. The guy that you developed to play that spot is playing that spot very well somewhere else, and you don't have somebody to play that spot. Just over $2 million. Kapanen makes $1 million. No Kapanen, no Klingberg. You play Holloway right now.
2 guys and a goalie, presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino. Don't miss the internationally recognized tribute, the Alan Jackson Experience, April 18th at the River Cree Resort and Casino. Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement? Bet on it.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
Play more tables and games.
Play more tables and games. Make the most of your bad game. Oh, you want to, you need to, you know just what you've got to do. It's time to add some fun to your life. Make the most of your bad game. Play more tables and games.
Playmoregames.ca.
.244. Welcome back to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk. We're live from the William Huff Studios. If you're out there today, please drive safely, slow down, put your lights on. Let's get everyone home safe. Got to get to this one from Rip City Steps. Chat GPT predicts the next 75 NBA championships. And he says, I need to be alive in 2090. Oh, man, that's too good. As we welcome in Reid Wilkins from the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. Reid, how you doing?
Well, Chat GTP is terrible. as I learned a few months ago when I was obsessively trying to get it to make what I thought were relatively simple sports schedules,
Yes.
and it needed quite a bit of guidance in doing that. If it's anything that isn't balanced, it can't do it. And even if you just say, make me a round robin with 4 teams, it might even struggle with that. And then I went on to Chat GPT today, and I thought, okay, can you predict, because I saw that tweet about the 75 NBA champions. So I said, can you predict the 2025 U Sports Women's Basketball Tournament, which started today, and the Pandas are playing tonight, of course. And it came and back and said, well, I don't do predictions, but here's some analysis of the top 4 teams in the tournament, 2 of which were not in the tournament. So then I said, I wrote to it, how can you not even know the teams in the tournament? So it's like, oh, you're right. I appear to have misidentified some teams. Here's the proper field. And it then listed 2 more teams that aren't in the event. So AI, maybe it's scary in some ways, but if it's not going to take over the world with its sports knowledge, that's for sure.
Oh, no, for sure. Hey, 15 away from 100 thumbs up. Let's do it for Reid. Come on. Don't disappoint us.
Oh, my goodness. Now that's a lot of pressure for people.
Okay,
now they're going to not want to do it.
I got a ton of stuff I need to talk to you about. So Hersey says, fun question, fellas. If you could bring one former Oiler onto this team right now to help them get going, who would it be? Are we talking about 10? Let's go the last 10
Wayne
years.
Gretzky is in from 1983.
Last 10 years.
And he's in his prime?
Yeah. Hersey's taking Jason Smith, just to throw that.
But he's beyond 10 years ago.
That's a good point. Okay,
Did
we're
he
doing
say-
10
Did he
years.
say last 10? Or
No,
did he
I'm
say-
saying last 10. Because if we go all the way, we're all going
Yeah.
to pick Gretzky, Messier.
So he plays as he was playing for
Yes.
the Oilers at that time.
Yes.
I might go Sekera then.
Oh.
With a strong honorable mention to Clefbaum.
I was going to pick Clefbaum. If you can put him into this team right now, holy smokes.
Yeah.
It'd be amazing.
That balances it out even better.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could say Eberle or Hall for sure. I mean, if you took 16, 17 Maroon, I guess, when he had 27 or 28 goals.
He was really good.
Him and McDavid and Draisaitl were.
David Perron still there? No, he was gone.
Perron was, if he's in the past 10 years, it's just barely.
Barely,
Yeah, because he
yeah.
didn't play in the new building, and that opened in 16, 17.
He was really good for the Oilers.
But I would take, I'd take either Clefbaum. I know it'd be another left shot D, so you might have 2 guys on their offhand, but Sekera was a very calming influence back there.
He was really good. Underrated, but injuries and all that, and missing the playoffs a bunch of years. All right, second question. Which decor is better on paper? We're not talking about how they're playing now. The one that ended last year's playoff run, which was Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Broberg, Kulak, Ceci, Desharnais, or the one we have right now with Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Wallman, Kulak, Emberson, Klimberg, and Stetcher.
Well, I think last year's, because Emberson is still very young, and we haven't seen what he can do in the playoffs yet, and we saw that, I know Ceci had some struggles in the playoffs, but he was still pretty good. And Broberg, after he came in for Desharnais, played well in the last couple games against Dallas, and then all of the Stanley Cup final.
Okay.
So I would have to say last year's, even though Nurse is playing better than he did last year, and even Kulak might arguably be playing better than he did last year, but they were clicking last year. But here's the thing, Hernan, and maybe this is the problem for how we talk about the team. When we talk about last year's Oilers team, we're often only referring to the playoffs.
Yes.
When, Henrique, Janmark, and Brown was one of the best third lines the Oilers have ever had.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Or certainly best penalty killers, and now it's a little different. But I would give a nod to last year's, I think.
And experience is a big one because Ceci, I think Gager and I said, Ceci and Emberson are very similar, but Ceci has experience.
Yes.
Right? Where Emberson still has a higher ceiling. Desharnais was a solid 7. Is he better than Klimberg and Stetcher? I think they're all pretty even.
Yeah, they're all a little different, I guess.
And different, yeah.
I mean, Vinny played his role, but as we saw in the 2 playoffs he was in, when the speed got cranked up night after night against the same opponent, he became a bit of he didn't appear to be as strong. And then, Wallman is kind of a wild card there, right? but he's only been on the team 3 years or 3 games.
So far, so good. Like he
Yes.
looks like he's gonna really fit in with this team, which is exciting. So yeah, it's. I know they brought it up on 2 guys. That's why I had to get to it because I think it's pretty close. Now, if we looked into how they're performing now compared to how it changes the whole argument because Nurse was bad last year in the playoffs, but Bouchard was excellent.
Yes,
that's kind of flipped here in the regulars. He said Ekholm's dropped off a bit. Kulak's stepped up a bit.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So.
Yep.
It's a lot of different things that you can put into this question, but 15 away from 100 thumbs up. I said do it for Reid. It's his anniversary today, and you guys can't give us 15 thumbs up. It's unacceptable.
Nobody cares.
No, let's talk about it. I mean, congratulations. 25 years is awesome in this business. It's a tough business to get into. It's a tough business to stay in, and I think you've done excellent work throughout your years, and you're an awesome guy to work with. You're awesome on air. You're even better off air because you're a great human.
Well, I just goof around a lot.
I just want to say congratulations on 25 years, and I hope
thanks.
a lot of us can hopefully one day reach that mark.
Well, most of you are close. I think we're all pretty experienced here. I guess except for the 2 young guys. But I debated even telling anybody about it, but then I thought it'd be fun to have my first sports director on, Greg Buchanan, because I'm still in touch with Greg.
Yeah,
not like daily, but he's been doing a podcast in Lloyd, so I've gone on with him and Kurt Price, another guy I used to work with. So I thought it'd be fun just to have Buck on, just to acknowledge
100%,
you're the guy that hired me. So I told a few you guys, but I didn't really want it to be like a thing.
Yeah,
but it is kind of neat to take a moment to recognize that 25 years ago I was like, holy crap, it's day one. Like I went to Nate and I wanted to get a job in broadcasting, and I did that. And but then it's like the now what? Well, I've got to experience quite a bit of the now what. So it's been pretty fun. I just feel very lucky. Like I feel lucky to work with all of you guys and Jasmine here at EST because this is a really cool place to work. It's really exciting what we're all building here.
I think when we all started, like I was a late bloomer. I didn't get to radio and television broadcasting school until my early 30s. I was a late bloomer, so I started really late. I'm glad I did, though, because it's something I always wanted to do. But in my 20s, it was just a wild time. So, Reid, like when you got into this, and like, was this your goal to host a radio show, or were you? Because it changes for everybody, right? You go into school and then you realize, oh, I actually like production, or I like, do you know what I mean? Did you have a different starting point where you wanted to be?
Yes, I was talking about this with Dustin and Eric this morning too. When I was breaking into the industry, I wanted to be a television sports anchor.
Okay.
And that was the big job at the time. Not that it isn't now, especially to be a national sports anchor, but with now YouTube and seeing videos on your phone 1 minute after a goal is scored, highlight shows don't have the cachet as they used to. I'm not saying they still aren't important and there still aren't some great people.
Oh, of course.
Jay, Ken and Ivanka on after a lot of the Oilers games, and you could go down the big list. But that was like the it job.
Yeah.
Right? Being a television sports anchor. So that's probably what I was thinking when I first got into it. And then, and then I can't even remember. Well, I just sort of right place, right time eventually with working on Stoff's show and then getting Inside Sports when Tenser left. But I will say this, having done most of the jobs in a newsroom / television radio station over the course of my career, nothing beats being a talk show host.
Yeah.
That is the ultimate job because everything you learn as a broadcaster has to be incorporated into being a talk show host. Even video elements now that there's so much video, even just having basic editing skills and knowing how to frame a shot and stuff like that on top of well, you know what I say, Hernan. You've heard me say this on and off air in the short time we've been working together. Spelling and grammar, kids.
Yeah.
Do not neglect it. Do not neglect it. Like when people say to me, give me some advice for going into broadcasting, I always say, learn proper English. And I always get funny looks because I know people are expecting me to say like, well, memorize stats or learn how to comb your hair. Like, no proper English.
It was hard when I left 1260 to go to the Elks. I was used to writing for on air, like you write sportscasts, and then you go to, and you have to write press releases for print. It's different.
Yeah,
it's a little bit different, right? So that was a transition for me. But I think last year I hit 10 years. So I'm 11 years in the business.
That's awesome.
11 years in this business. Again, I was a late bloomer. In my 20s, I just did a lot of I did a lot of different jobs.
People think you were a badass or something in the nasty chat.
I wasn't in a gang or anything, but it took me a while to figure out what I wanted to do, and always worked different jobs, and then finally got my stuff together and got into the radio and television, which is a great program. I recommend it to anyone. And then Dave Jameson and Matty Wanek hired me. I interviewed with them as a board op. And then now I'm here, and I never hosted a show till I got to EST because I was always the producer / co-host, right? So it was a little bit scary too, but it's been great and to work with everybody here and everybody that I have worked with in the past. Elks, 1260, all great people.
Yeah,
a lot of great people. Congratulations once again, Reid. Thank you for taking the time to join me. And what's coming up on your show?
We'll preview Oilers Devils. We'll probably talk about music or something frivolous like that. Then you guys are back at 4:30.
Yeah.
And then, yes, the guy who hired me
awesome
for my first job, Greg Buchanan, probably some people even know who that is as I bring him up. He's going to hop on at 5:30 while we follow the Oilers and the Devils.
And the word of the day, which is a fun segment.
Are you doing it again today?
No,
we're not.
No,
Okay.
no. Me and the Jeff love that segment. We always love learning about the new words. And we sent them in yesterday. So sucker was our word.
That was amazing. That totally stumped me.
Totally.
Stumped me.
So if you want to send stuff in for Zach to the Future, Hernan at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, send it today. And you all failed Reid. Only 94 thumbs up. Disappointed. Hey, it's Oilers game day. Reid Wilkins, Jay Milne coming up, followed by Tom Gazzola. Then back to Reid and Jay. And then we're back for the post-game show. Enjoy the rest of your day. Get home safe. We'll talk in a bit. Ciao.